What if forever wars are over, but pinprick power is becoming the new normal? Because this week, two stories are colliding: Venezuela and Greenland. Let's break it down. Reports say the US has taken direct action against Venezuela's leadership and is tightening pressure around oil and political control. At the same time, people close to President Trump are again floating the idea that Greenland could be on the table, with force not ruled out. Now here's the core question: what does the US actually want in Venezuela? Traditionally, America's big strategic rule in the Western Hemisphere is simple: don't allow distant great powers to build serious military footholds close to home. That's the old logic often connected to the Monroe Doctrine, but what's being emphasized right now doesn't sound like keep rivals out. It sounds like leverage, and in Venezuela, leverage means energy. Venezuela holds enormous oil reserves, and oil is still power. It affects prices, supply chains, and alliances. So from a realist view, this becomes less about democracy promotion slogans and more about influence: who controls the flows, who gets access, and who sets the terms. I'm Imran, a Middle East-based analyst. I keep it neutral and practical, so you can judge the strategy, not the noise. Now zoom out. Why does this matter beyond Latin America? Because for decades, Western power usually came with a wrapper. Even when Washington bent the rules, it tried to justify actions with alliances, international law language, and legitimacy. But when a superpower stops bothering with the wrapper, when it starts sounding like "we can, so we will," the damage spreads fast. Allies start asking, if rules are optional for the strongest player, why should anyone else respect the rules? And that's where Greenland becomes a NATO stress test. Greenland is strategic. Arctic routes, resources, and important US military infrastructure already there. So yes, major powers care about it. But NATO isn't just tanks and treaties. NATO is trust. And if a NATO leader talks about taking territory from a NATO partner, it creates a new fear: not an enemy might test us, but can we rely on the alliance itself? And here's the uncomfortable reality for Europe: dependency. Europe still leans on US security, especially while Ukraine continues to drain resources and attention. So European leaders hesitate to confront Washington too hard, but the softer they respond, the more pressure they invite. So what's the takeaway? Venezuela signals a new style: fast, forceful, transactional. Greenland signals the bigger risk. Allies start wondering whether America first has any boundary. And if this continues, the real casualty won't be one country. It will be the credibility of the system that kept Western alliances stable for decades. Now I want your view. Is this realism or overreach that will backfire? If you want more simple, neutral breakdowns like this, hit like, subscribe, and share. It helps the algorithm recommend the channel, and it helps me keep these explainers coming.